Chapter 20, Coming Home. Airport Lobby. Dad, slow down a bit. The old man was almost 80, but his legs were still so agile. Mother Chi, Father Chi, and Grandpa Chi's bodyguard, Xiaochen, worriedly looked at the old man in front of them walking so fast. What time is it now? Grandpa Chi stretched his neck to look inside, not forgetting to ask Xiaochen a little. Dad, it's okay, it's still in time. Mother Chi smiled and patted his arm. It's 9 o'clock. We're almost there. Xiaochen raised his hand to look at his watch, seriously answering the old chief. Why was there a traffic jam just now? Grandpa muttered, standing on his tiptoes, to look inside. Father Chi was also waiting on the side, craning his neck. Hello. A person wearing an airport staff uniform, smiling brightly, walked up to them and greeted them. May I ask if you are the family members of the passenger Du Rua on the flight from California? The Chi family elders all glanced at each other suspiciously. Xiaochen stepped forward and nodded, smiling. Yes, may I ask what's the matter? Oh, Miss Du is in our airport's medical room, worried that you've been waiting for too long, so she told us to come out and let you in. Miss, may I ask what's the matter? Mother Chi asked worriedly. Please rest assured, Miss Du is fine, please follow me. The staff opened the door of the airport medical room. Before everyone could enter, they could already hear a childish voice coming from inside. Grandpa, don't worry, my mother is very powerful, you will definitely be fine. Although the voice was still very childish, the tone was powerful and resounding, 100 times more trustworthy. Yes, and added 2 sweet and innocent words of assurance. Entering, Grandpa Chi saw his 3 precious little ones surrounding an old man. He was instantly jealous, coughed, cough. Chi looked back, Great-grandpa. Immediately leaving the old man lying on the sickbed, she hugged her great-grandpa. Chi Xian turned around, seeing the person who had just arrived. The 2 of them also happily jumped up. Grandpa. Alright, surrounded by his great-grandchildren, Grandpa Chi felt fulfilled. Grandpa, Mom and Dad. Du Rua also saw the adults in the house, stood up and approached them. Oh? Chi Xian from Grandpa Chi's embrace, his eyes instantly lit up. Grandpa, Grandma. Father Chi originally felt a little bit of a temporary cure because of his father attracting the attention of his 3 grandchildren. Grandpa, Grandma. Chi Yu also saw, immediately straightened up, politely greeted. Mother Chi squatted down. Come, Grandma gives you a hug. Mother Chi hugged her 3 grandchildren, her eyes squinting in satisfaction. It feels really good. Grandpa looked around, frowned, and asked, what's going on? He thought that his granddaughter-in-law had encountered some trouble. It's nothing, he has a heart attack. Du Rua smiled, said something reassuring, and immediately looked at the 3 adults in the house. Why are you all here? Her voice carried an extremely intimate feeling that she didn't even notice. Haha, there's nothing to do at home. Mother Chi stood at the side, hearing clearly. In fact, how could there be nothing to do, just looking forward to seeing her daughter-in-law and grandson. Du Rua reached out to take the old man's pulse again. It stabilized quite a bit, looked towards the old lady beside him. His illness, it's best to stay in the hospital and observe for a bit. This kind of illness can only be completely resolved by surgery. The old lady was about to speak, when another group of people came in, and there was also a group of rescue workers. Dad, how are you? A middle-aged man hurriedly rushed in front of the old man, looking at the old man affectionately. In a moment, a few people behind him also surrounded him. The old man slowly waved his hand, indicating that he was fine. Mom, aren't you 2 going on a trip? How did it turn out like this? A woman asked the old lady beside her, the concern in her eyes not like an act. Sorry, please don't surround him. Du Rua spoke lightly, to stop everyone from rushing forward to express their concern. You are? The middle-aged man turned around, looking at her suspiciously. It's more or less thanks to this doctor. Your father just finished taking the medicine. If it weren't for her, your father wouldn't know what would have happened. As if thinking about the extremely urgent situation just now, the old lady's tears flowed out again. Thank you, the middle-aged man looked at Du Rua gratefully. Mr. Xia, we'd better take old Mr. Xia to the hospital now, after all. A doctor who looked very dignified negotiated with that Mr. Xia, and also looked meaningfully at Du Rua's group. The elder of the Qi family was also a big shot. How could he not understand the unfinished words? He couldn't help but slightly furrow his brows. Du Rua gave them a reassuring look, stepped forward and took back the needle on the old man's chest. The middle-aged man glanced at the Qi family and Du Rua, as if he was deep in thought. After a while, he gratefully expressed his gratitude to Du Rua several times. She showed that it was okay, saving people was more important, then slowly left with a group of people. Humph. Grandpa Qi snorted disdainfully at the back of this group of people, saving his family's life, and still doubting other people's medical skills, really thought he was very good. Du Rua shook her head amusedly. Although that doctor was right, he had to quickly send the old man to the hospital, but Grandpa's covering up for her shortcomings like this made her smile and narrow her eyes, not making any excuses for that person. Let's go home. Grandpa hugged Qi Hao, made a forward posture, teasing Qi Hao by slapping his little hands, giggling. Father Qi and Mother Qi also each held a child. Du Rua and Xiao Chen had no choice but to obediently follow behind. 20 kilometers cross-country run. After finishing this trip, right after Yang Kaiqing, Zhou Rui, and a group of normally brave Special Forces soldiers, they all violently threw their bodies that couldn't take it anymore, along with the 35 kilograms backpack on their bodies, into the grass, panting. Even their fingers were too lazy to move a bit. Qishan was no exception. No. After a while, Zhou Rui waved his hand. I'll stay here tonight. If anyone forces me to stand up, I'll beat them up. 20 kilometers cross-country run, is this for people to live? Aren't normal people all unable to stand up for 10 kilometers? Think they're not in the range of normal people. 15 kilometers is enough. 20 kilometers cross-country run, ah. Zhou Rui couldn't help but groan, then slowly laughed out loud. As if infected, everyone laughed crazily. This was a kind of breakthrough for them. Although when the squad leader mentioned it, everyone thought it was impossible, but military orders cannot be disobeyed. Persist. In fact, they were able to complete it. Very good. Qishan breathed heavily, his face full of pride and exaggeration. After speaking, he glanced at everyone with a deep meaning, filled with anticipation, coughed, his lips curled up. Next time let's try 25? Ah. Everyone groaned loudly. Sister-in-law, come quickly, take this devil away. Suddenly, the fearless Zhou Rui let out a wolf howl. It was completely quiet. Zhou Rui finally realized something was wrong, awkwardly scratched the back of his head, rubbed his legs, brushed the dirt off and retreated, forcing a smile and said, did I say anything? Yang Kaiqing had no good intentions, tearing apart someone's expectations, yes. Then he deliberately glanced at the smiling captain, deciding to stomp hard on his foot, lest he end up in the same pot. You did say something. Oh? Did I say anything? Zhou Rui quickly used the cute expression of a 2-year-old child, struggling to die. Looking at the corner of Qishan's mouth trembling, this expression was exactly like his 3 treasures at home. Although everyone was very surprised, but everyone was smart, looking at the strange smile on the captain's face, swallowing a mouthful of saliva. Those who know what's good are good. Everyone solemnly nodded, agreeing with Vice Captain Yang's words. Can I resist? The general situation was lost. Zhou Rui's face collapsed. Okay, Qishan leisurely and comfortably stood up. Actually, I also want to reward you with a bottle of good wine. You are indeed a good brother, knowing how to save money for me. Oh? Yang Kaiqing and Zhou Rui looked at each other. The others also had some confusion. Suspiciously looking at the captain's smiling face, from morning till now, this person has not been normal. How to say this? The training was stronger than before, as if he had not used up all his strength yet. The strangest thing was the smile on his face. At this time, at the main gate of the military district, the soldier in charge of guarding the station felt depressed. Only when the comrade who was handing over the shift arrived did he loosen his mouth slightly. He raised his head to look at a tall black off-road vehicle, parked not far away. He then lowered his head to look at the three soft little children below who had been staring at him for who knows how long, not knowing what to do. "Children, what's the matter? You can't just enter this place. Entering a military base without permission would result in severe punishment." The young soldier squatted down and looked at the three beautiful children, coaxingly. Oh, the more he looked, the more adorable they became. "We're looking for Daddy." Seeing that the uncle finally paid attention to them, Chiyu aggrievedly fondled her small mouth, opening her clear eyes to look at the young soldier. Don't look at Chiyu, who was usually mischievous with her brother, but in reality, in front of Qixin, she was as obedient as a little lamb. The young soldier in front of her was wearing the same clothes as her father. Chiyu immediately restored her appearance as a young lady. "Looking for a father?" The young soldier was confused for a few seconds. "What does your father look like? What is he called?" The young soldier felt that although there were many men in this army, but coming here to look for a father, no matter how he heard it, it was not trustworthy. "Much taller than me." Qixin stood on tiptoe, raising his hand high, intending to let the young soldier understand how tall his father was. "Grandpa," Grandma said, "I look like my father the most." Hearing what his appearance was, Chi Hao immediately brought his small face in front of the young soldier, letting people see clearly. Small mouth, round eyes, soft face that could be pinched out of water, the young soldier thought for a while, showed this dumpling face to the people he knew, quickly trembled slightly, it was really strange, quickly shook his head and threw away that image, "Can't see it." At this time, Du Rua was forced by her three children to stay in the car and laughed out loud. Oh, looking at the image of his family's dumpling using the expression "uncle" is really stupid to look at that young soldier, it was really cute. "Oh? Yes. My name is Qixin." Little Qixin saw that the young soldier still didn't know, lifted his small chest, and introduced himself. As expected of triplets, the older brother and older sister beside them immediately understood their younger brother's meaning. "My name is Chi Hao." Chi Hao hurriedly said, "My name is Chiyu." Chiyu grabbed her little shirt. What was going on? It was unclear why after saying their father, they introduced themselves again. The young man was completely confused by the three little guys. "Stonehead. Why haven't you come back yet?" The squad leader inside saw that the young soldier was slow and didn't return to his unit, so he went out to look for someone. Just as he walked towards them, he saw three little children in military uniforms in front of Stonehead. "Who are these?" The squad leader looked at Stonehead suspiciously. "We're looking for Daddy." The three little buns were anxious, they had just assured their mother that they didn't need their mother to help, they could find Daddy themselves. Why were these uncles so stupid? The young soldier immediately told the squad leader a little about the situation. "Their Chi?" The squad leader asked in surprise. "He's a smart person." The three children tried their best to put on an expression of appreciation. The squad leader and the young soldier twitched their mouths at the same time, however, the squad leader heard that the surname was Chi, and immediately looked at the eldest darling that the young soldier had mentioned. It really did have some similarities. "Hey, that's not good." The squad leader immediately pressed down the information, and contacted the platoon leader of the 3rd Squad of the Special Forces, Qixin. "Captain Qi, there's something wrong with the main gate of the military district." Qixin was resting with his teammates, and was stunned when he heard this. "Huh? So fast?" With a "dismissed," he immediately stood up, and followed with the sentence, "Dismissed, that's it for today." Like an arrow, he ran towards the main gate. Something wrong. Yang Kaiching and Zhou Rui's eyes lit up, they quickly glanced at each other, and without prior agreement, they followed.